As I've done for 25 years or so, on Christmas, I don't give a homily per se, but I read a Christmas story. And the story teaches us some of the truth about the feast that brings us here tonight. And this year, I'm going to read The Cobbler and His Guest. It's by Anne McCullum Boyles. There once lived in the city of Marseille an old shoemaker, loved and honored by his neighbors, who affectionately called him Father Martin. One Christmas Eve, as he sat alone in his little shop, reading of the visit of the wise men to the infant Jesus and of the gifts they brought, he said to himself, "If tomorrow were the first Christmas, and if this Jesus were to be born in Marseille this night, I know what I would give him." He rose from his stool and took from a shelf overhead 2 tiny shoes of softest snow-white leather with bright silver buckles. "I would give him these, my finest work." Then he paused and reflected, "But I'm a foolish old man," he continued. "The master has no need of my poor gifts." Replacing the shoes, he blew out the candle and retired to rest. Hardly had he closed his eyes, it seemed, when he heard a voice call his name. "Martin, Martin." Intuitively, he felt a presence. Then the voice spoke again. "Martin, you have wished to see me tomorrow. To see me, and tomorrow I'll pass by your window, and if you see me and bid me enter, I shall be your guest at your table." Father Martin did not sleep that night for joy, and before it was yet dawn, he rose and swept and tidied up his little shop. He spread fresh sand upon the floor and wreathed green bows of fur along the rafter. On the spotless linen-covered table, he placed a loaf of white bread, a jar of honey, and a pitcher of milk. When all was in readiness, he took up his patient vigil at the window. Presently, he saw an old street sweeper pass by. He was blowing on his thin, gnarled hands to keep warm. Poor fellow, he must be half frozen, thought Martin. Opening the door, he called out to him, "Come in, my friend, and warm yourself, and drink something hot." And the man gratefully accepted the invitation. An hour passed, and Martin next saw a young, miserably clothed woman carrying a baby. She paused wearily to rest in the shelter of his doorway. The heart of the old cobbler was touched. Quickly he flung open the door. "Come in and warm yourself while you rest," he said. "You don't look well," he remarked. "I'm going to the hospital. I hope they will take me in, and my baby boy. My husband is at sea, and I am ill without a sou." "Poor child," cried Father Martin. "You must eat something while you are getting warm. Then let me give a cup of milk to the little one. Ah, what a bright, pretty little fellow he is." Why, you have no shoes on him." "I have no shoes for him," sighed the mother. "Then he shall have to have this lovely pair I finished yesterday." And Father Martin took down from the shelf the soft little snow-white shoes he had admired the evening before. He slipped them on the child's feet. They fit perfectly. And shortly the poor young mother went on her way, 2 sous in her hand, and tearful with gratitude. And Father Martin resumed his post at the window. Hour after hour went by, and although many people passed his window, and many needy souls shared the hospitality of the old cobbler, the expected guest did not appear. "It was only a dream," he sighed with a heavy heart. "I did hope and believe, but he has not come." Suddenly, so it seemed to his weary eyes, the room was flooded with a strange light. And to the cobbler's astonished vision, there appeared before him, one by one, the poor street sweeper, the sick mother and her child, and all the people whom he had aided during the day. And each smiled at him and said, "Have you not seen me? Did I not sit at your table?" Then they vanished from his view. At last, out of the silence, Father Martin heard again the gentle voice repeating the old familiar words. "Whoever receives the lowly one receives me. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. Truly I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it for one of the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done it unto me. You and I have the opportunity to visit with the Christ child every single day.